Look, if you're struggling or you're a massive cold calling fan and you're trying to figure out how can I level up my cold call intros, this is the exact video for you. Hey, this is Morgan J Ingram from Sell Better. And if you're looking to level up your cold calling game, subscribe to the channel to learn about our cold calling strategies. And I have 7 cold call introductions for you today. Now, before I go into the 7 cold call introductions, what you do need to understand is that the first 3 to 7 seconds of a cold call is the most critical aspect of the call. If you don't nail that down, then that's how you're gonna get hung up on, or what we like to call get bulldozed back in the day. You don't want any of these things because then you can't convert opportunities and you're not having quality conversations, which is ultimately what you're looking for. Because the introduction is so key, we're giving you 7, right? 7 of these that you can go execute because everyone's personality is gonna be different. So that's why I'm doing this. Let's go to number 1. And this is one of my top ones. It's not my top one. If you want the top one, you gotta watch the whole video. So you gotta hang tight with me. But this one here, all you do, let's say I'm calling David, for example. I'll say, hi, David. Look, you don't know me, I don't know you, but the reason for my call is. The reason that I love that intro, because you're able to completely break them down and not have to play a guessing game. Because there's 2 things that happen when people answer a cold call. 1, they say, who is this? 2, what do you want? So I automatically knock out, who is this? I say, hey, you don't know me, I don't know you. And then immediately I follow up and say the reason for my call is, so now I answered, what do you want? In the first 3 or 4 seconds. Now they're leaned in and they're gonna pay attention. That's a really good one that you can use. Let's say if you're like, I wanna try something new, or you're a direct person, that's the personality style you can do there. Number 2 is very simple. I'll say, hi David, can you help me? Let's talk about this one. And I do have a story behind this one as well. Let's just show some love to Disney World. I think everyone here has listened to Disney World before. You probably watched some movies. You're very familiar with Disney. When I was 7 years old and I was in Disney World with my parents, I got lost. They left me on a ride. They straight up left me. It's back when I had like an afro and everything. So yeah, I could have been easily noticed, but they did leave me. I went to one of the people at the park and I said, can you help me? And they were like, oh, like, how can I help you? Like, what's going on? So they ended up finding my parents. We're all good. I'm here today, right? I'm not mad at them still, but I did get lost and that was not a good situation. The reason I bring up that story is because that person will lean in and be like, how can I help? Because humans innately are looking to help and assist. And that's the reason why I do that. Let's talk about another one. So this one is extremely straightforward. However, it's a little nuance to it. And it's for some of you out there that like playing the pattern interrupt game and feel like you really want to captivate your prospect. So all I will do is say, hi David, this is Morgan Ingram from Sell Better. With the pause. I got y'all with the pause. You're like, wait, is that it? That's it. I got y'all with the pause. And so what happens is, just like you all probably did listening and watching, you're probably like, what do you want? What is he gonna say? And the prospect does the same thing. They say, okay, so what do you want? What do you have going on? That allows me to go right into it and say, yeah, I'm Morgan Ingram from Sell Better, like I said, and the reason for my call is, and right, I can go into my value prop and the pitch of what we talked about. That is a great introduction if you can nail it. You gotta practice that one. You can't just go, you can't be going crazy with that one, right? You really have to practice it. Now we're halfway there. We're at number 4. And this one, you've heard me say it quite a bit already, but I'm gonna tie in something so that you can get this done as well. When we're calling people, there's certain accounts that we really want to get into. Google, the Amazon, wait, I'm not in London, I don't know why I'm saying Amazon, but the thing is you want to get those top level accounts. So you want to come with some research. So this is a very selective intro that you're going to do here. So I would say, hi, David, I'm Morgan from Sell Better, and I was browsing your website and noticed that you're hiring a ton of sales reps across the world, and we provide a lot of training for companies that are hiring globally. The reason for my call is, and you go into it. What that does is because you validated your research and you've shown that you've done something, you could start an intro that way and go into your value prop because you've shown them that you have actually done some due diligence. So that buys you a little bit of time to go right into that. That's another one you can do, but again, you have to be going after those top accounts or big deals that you're trying to secure. That's how you're gonna go about that. So let's go to number 5. Number 5 is, I got this one from my friend James Buckley, shout out to him, and I wanna share with you all because I think it's great if you can do it the right way. Typically when you call somebody, they might be in the middle of something. They might be. They might have been working on something, they may be responding to email, but maybe they got a couple minutes to hear you out, but they probably were in the middle of something. An introduction that you can do is, hey, this is Morgan Ingram from Sell Better. What did I catch you in the middle of? So that's an interesting one because you probably did catch them in the middle of something. And when I've heard James use it and some other reps use it, the other person laughs, which is great. If you can get someone to laugh, you're already way ahead of the game. That creates a levity place. Also, it's gonna pattern interrupt them. And we talk about this a lot. Interrupting people's patterns so that they lean in and say, whoa, what is this person talking about? Like, I've never heard of this before. You wanna do those pattern interrupts across the board. Definitely try that one out. Shout out to James for that one. We're getting towards the end and you're probably wondering, what's the number one intro that Morgan has? Hang tight. Get the second to last one, we'll give you this one, and then we'll talk about the one that's changed the game for a lot of people. In our membership program, a lot of my mentees and people that I train, they're converting at a high clip, but we'll tell you what that one is in a minute. The sixth cold call introduction. This one is straight to the point. It literally is, hi, my name is Morgan from Sell Better, and the reason for my call is, and that's it. The thing is I've said the reason for my call quite a bit, but you don't have to add those other factors. You could go straight into it. You don't even need to do anything truly crazy here. You can go straight into it, go to the value prop, and then now you're in the conversation. This one's really good if you're making a high volume of calls. I know some people that are tuning in right now probably have a high volume that they're doing. This is a good way to just go straight to it if you don't like the other ones that I mentioned. The last one, y'all been waiting for this one. You made it to this point, congrats. Now I'm gonna give you what's been getting high conversions. I know one person, they have a 20% conversion rate from this cold call introduction. If you know what that means, it's a big deal because the average is a 1 to 2%. Get your notepad out and write this down. Here's the introduction. I'm gonna tell you the acronym for it, and I'm also gonna tell you why it does so well. So we're gonna call David. David's getting a lot of calls today. Hopefully he doesn't hate me. But hi, David. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, look, I know I'm calling you out the blue here. However, do you have a few moments to chat? What is this called? This is called the PLA. This stands for pleasant, laughing, and arms up. Let's go through why I've called this the PLA and how you can incorporate this in your talk track. The first part is pleasant. I said, hi, David. Thanks for taking my call. I want y'all to think about this. Even as a seller, I always ask people, do they enjoy cold calls? And they say, no, I don't enjoy cold calls at all. And I've always asked them, has anyone ever thanked you for picking up the phone? And the answer 99% of the time is no, they haven't. So then I'm like, okay, well, let's start thanking people for picking up the phone because it interrupts the pattern. There it goes again, right? And I also don't introduce my name because it's not important yet. From what I know, unless you're watching Rock, that'd be cool, but you're not The Rock probably. You probably aren't. You saying your name and company, they're probably not gonna be like, oh wow, I've been wanting to talk to you, because we're not The Rock, so it doesn't matter. That's why we do that part. Let's talk about laughing. Notice that, hey, I know I'm catching on the blue here. I laugh to create levity. You'll notice in a lot of these introductions, it's to be humans, to be normal, because that's what we're trying to do here. We don't want to be robots. We don't want to be salesy. We just want to have a normal conversation, but we're still providing value and we're still gonna give you good context. But I'm saying, hey, I know I'm catching on the blue here. I'm acknowledging that this is absurd. Yeah, I'm calling you out the blue. This is a crazy thing that's happening, but I'm laughing at it so that you laugh with me, so the call to action I'm about to tell you about is easier. Here's the important part about this laugh. You have to practice this laugh. I'm serious, you have to practice this, because if you don't practice this, you're gonna sound absurd. For those of you who are NBA fans, you probably have seen this video before, Kawhi Leonard. His laugh is extremely creepy across the board. So you don't wanna get on this call and say, oh yeah, I'm calling you out the blue. Like, no, you don't want to sound, that was actually goofy a little bit too. So the thing is, you don't want to sound like goofy. You don't want to sound like Kawhi Leonard. You want to sound normal. My laugh is very normal. I've practiced it a lot of times. It's a natural flow. Now let's get to the end. However, do you have a few moments to chat? I say arms up. Typically, I'll put my arms up on the phone call. I will literally go, however, do you have a few moments to chat? Why do I put my hands up? You could do research on this, but when you put your arms up, what it does is it creates a disarming environment. When you talk with your, I mean, y'all see me here, but when you talk with your hands, it conveys certain emotions and it conveys certain strengths in your voice and the way that you're talking to somebody. But when I put my arms up, it's saying, hey, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm friendly, like it's all good. And that way that person is more open to saying, hey, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to talk about? What's going on? Large majority of the time, people will do that. And this is also called a permission-based opener. So then now it opens up the conversation. I just dropped a ton of introductions on you all. Pick one of those and start executing. And my last thing I'll say here is, I gave 7, but what's your top cold call introduction? I'll add my bonus cold call introduction in the comments.